In recognition of her distinguished performance in support of the Department of the Air Force from 24 May 2010 to 31 March 2026. Most notably as Director of Operations, 1st Combat Camera Squadron, Air Force Public Affairs Agency, Joint Base Charleston, South Carolina. Ms. Tyron's exceptional leadership inspired a generation of more than 500 combat camera airmen, delivering operational and historical imagery, shaping the information environment during major conflicts, contingency, humanitarian operations, and exercises in over 100 countries. Moreover, her steadfast counsel and mentorship at every echelon fueled a culture of excellence, delivering extraordinary results around the world, earning the squadron the Defense Department's 2017 and 2018 Best Combat Camera Team, the Air Force Association's 2017 Gil Rob Wilson Award, and Higher Headquarters Awards for the 2019 Best Crisis Communication and 2023 and 2024 Best Communication Programs. Finally, she was recognized at various levels, including the 2019 South Carolina Women in Defense Civilian of the Year, the 2020 Air Force Public Affairs Communication Excellence, and the 2016 and 2021 Agency Level Civilian of the Year Awards. The distinctive accomplishments of Ms. Tyron culminate a distinguished career with the United States government and reflect great credit upon herself and the Department of the Air Force. States Air Force. This is to recognize Catherine Renee Tyron for 15 years of faithful and devoted service on the occasion of retirement and employment with the United States Air Force. Given this first day of April 2026, signed Jason Parker, Colonel, U.S. Air Force Commander, 628th Air Base Wing. Accompanying the certificate is a letter from Colonel Parker. It reads, Dear Renee Tyron, congratulations on your retirement after 15 years of federal civilian service. On behalf of the men and women of Joint Base Charleston, I want to convey our sincere thanks. Answering the call of our nation is not easy. It's a demanding duty that requires a great deal of dedication and determination. You can take great pride in knowing that you serve your nation well and faithfully as you begin the next chapter of your life. Your service spanned one of the most challenging times in our nation's history and has endured the freedoms we so dearly value. Please accept my thanks on behalf of a grateful nation for your many contributions over the past 15 years. Accompanying the citation is a retirement pin to be worn on the lapel. Mr. Dowdy, would you please join us on stage?
Thank you very much.
It is customary to present the spouse of the retiring member's recognition for their role supporting their spouse's career. At this time, Colonel Fabio will present a certificate of appreciation to Mr. Dowdy for his contributions to Renee's career and the nation.
Okay.
This certificate reads, Certificate of Appreciation from the U.S. Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the U.S. Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to E. Barron Dowdy, Jr. for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support, which gives strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, Jason Parker, Colonel, U.S. Air Force Commander, 628th Air Base Wing. It reads, on the occasion of your spouse's retirement, I would like to thank you on behalf of a grateful nation for the support you have provided them during their career. Defending the U.S. is a demanding profession, which requires sacrifices for both the member and their loved ones. As your spouse transitions into retirement, you should take great pride in the realization that you played a key role in keeping the nation strong and free during one of the most demanding times in its history. Please remember, we'll always value you as an important part of our Air Force team. On behalf of the Air Force, and particularly the 628th Air Base Wing, please accept my sincere appreciation for the sacrifices you've made. Good luck and best wishes. His unwavering love, support, and sacrifices throughout her career.
You don't get flowers, so this you can add to your collection.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Early Valentine's Day.
Yep. I wanted to give her one for each year of federal service, but now that we're retired, I'm on a restricted budget. So I gave her one for each year of federal civilian service, plus one to grow on, to my lovely bride.
It's a real honor to be asked to do this. Thank you for asking me to share this day with you and all of our friends, family, colleagues, loved ones. There's a lot of history in this room, and that's a testament to you, Renee, and the impact that you've had on visual information, combat camera, the Air Force, federal service, the government, and just all of us as people. So thank you. What do you say when someone has served 47 years in service to a government, a nation, between Guard, active duty, and civil service? Renee has spent 20 years of that time at this unit. That's pretty amazing. There are probably only 2 other people, and I think they're in this room. Mitch, you're one of them, who've been here longer. And even with my active duty and reserve time, Shane, I didn't get that far. I got 18, and that was topped out. And I often think, boy, I was there for a long time. That's quite a legacy and quite an impact. I think, Alex, I heard you say more than 500 people who've served here, at least under your term as DO. DO, Director of Operations. From the day I showed up at this unit, August 1st, 1994, don't laugh back there, who was alive at that point, besides Matt Luck? And I'm not the oldest in this room. Have you met Chief Ron Hamilton? He can tell you, he used to draw this stuff, and we don't do that anymore, right? We take the photos and the videos. Plenty of folks here from that old Guard, and man, I am jealous for all of those of you who are here now. Renee, you for getting to be here for more years than I was. And for us only having one day to see everybody and to celebrate you. But I'll take it. I'll take that day. And it's a real pleasure and an honor to be here with all of you, and I look forward to socializing after this. I wasn't able to do that prior to because I had to put together some kind of a speech, and I'm doing my best to fumble through that right now as I dusted off the old uniform out of the closet from retirement 2 years ago, and thankfully it barely fits. There are some folks who aren't here with us. We lost a dear friend a little over a month ago, a mentor, a legacy to this career field. Ken Hackman. I don't know if y'all wearing the camo back there. No Ken. Some of you, I see heads nodding. You've been to the workshops. You've been given Ken's very pointed and tough feedback, but it made you better storytellers. Ken was part of that old Guard, and he gave back right up until the moment that he moved on to whatever's next. We miss him, and some of us had the opportunity to see him just before he passed, and to say goodbye. I want to say hello once more and say goodbye, and it wasn't sad. It was a joyous occasion. Ken and I occasionally had talks about what was going on, as did you and I on the regular, right? How are we looking? Where are we going, Will, right? What's coming down from the top? How's AFPA handling it? And how does that affect the squadron? You know it, Tony, you've lived both lives. Brian, you too. And for those of us who have it, it's not an easy thing to carry that mantle, to be the director of operations, to try to keep this squadron on track, keep those guys humming, keep the top level stuff away from distracting them, and helping them to focus on being the best storytellers that they can be. When we went to visit Ken, I had just a couple hours that afternoon, and everybody was telling stories and we were talking, and before I left, he kind of called me over and I went close and we shared a couple words, and I'll keep those. But I know, wow, no, I don't need that. Tough, I got it. I got a chance to say something to him that I think probably mattered as much as anything else that he was sorting out before that time came, and he had some time. And remember, this is the guy who cared as much as we do, cared maybe more than the collective of all of us over our years. And that's saying something, because there's a lot of heart and soul and care in this room. You guys back there doing the mission now, and those of us who've done it over the years and played a role similar to Renee's, trying to make it happen and make it happen in the best way possible. Get you the training, get you the tools, and get you out there where the action's happening. The workshops that Ken started and that we all benefited from went on for about 20 years, but funding reasons and whatnot, they petered out, unfortunately. And I think for Ken, that was kind of a sad thing, because he was worried about where it goes. He wanted to continue to hone this thing, this combat camera, this storytelling, and provide what he knew, and to grind us into something better than the sum of our parts. And I had the chance, I shared that notion, for years, and Renee, we talked about that, whether I was in uniform or not, and what's going on, and how does that look, and Tony and Will, we talked about that over the years as we've carried that mantle. And I personally came to a realization not too long ago, and it was at probably the last Scorpion Lens exercise that you were so gracious to invite me down to help with, kind of as a parting gift for me before I went to the retired side. And it was that, and I told Ken this, Ken, we're okay, you can go. We're in good hands. These guys have it covered. And you do. I think the legacy of this unit is one that I can say to you, it's okay, you can go. You've done your part, done it well. And you've impacted so many people in this room and in rooms elsewhere who couldn't be here. So thank you for that. We're all honored to spend this time with you today and pay honor to you and your service. That I know you'll appreciate, and I hope you guys back there do, because I think you believe it, and I know all of you believe it, because we're here at the best and shiniest unit in the United States Air Force, in government service, in the military. I see heads nodding, because when we walked away from this unit, we knew it was the best job we ever had. I don't know if all you guys are thinking that right now. I remember being here as a young man and thinking, oh, there's problems. This is a pain in the ass. They've had me out the door for more than half of this year and half of last year, and I'm tired. It's taking a toll. So let me offer you this. I'm trying to write a book. I have 4 pages. That's but I'm amongst friends, so I'll admit that. Here you go. I started to realize that through my military time in combat camera and as a public affairs officer, as well as my civilian career, where I've been telling stories for between both for more than 30 years. There are elements of that I realized I can pass on, and so I did, much like Ken does, and much like you do with the leadership and the things you've learned. And I've been trying to develop that into a book, and it has remained short because I haven't known how to start it. So I think I was on a plane the other day and something came to me, and I'd like to read it to you because I think those of us who've been in the game for a while may appreciate this. I hope you do, because it's you very much to a T. You're still a storyteller because you're making it happen. All of those stories that happen out there, they don't happen in a vacuum, right? You are ensuring that, and you have, and now you'll pass that mantle on. So I digress. Let me read this. Although it's for the old guard, my friends and colleagues and some former nemesis, it's for those of you back there wearing the most stylish camouflage. And I will offer this, that the only thing that lives forever is the story. The event, the achievement, the victory, the defeat, these are but fleeting moments. The heroine, the villain, the conqueror, the champion, the child, all but souls whose lives will end and whose names will be forgotten. Forever, or until the end of time, whichever comes first. But when these people, or animals, trees, cars, or other inanimate objects, or organic beings become characters in the recounting of their experiences in those moments, they live forever. If a tree falls in the woods and no one is there to witness it, does it make a sound? If no one speaks your name after you die, did you ever exist? The story gives everyone, everything, everywhere, life beyond this time and place. If someone tells your story, you become eternal. Who has this magical ability to determine your fate, to grant eternal life in this realm of linear time and space? Who is this figure of ultimate power in the known and understood universe? The storyteller. The storyteller. Thank you, Renee.
We'll hand this one off. I got a bunch of things to give you, so we'll do this one real quick. So thank you so much.
It's like -1 font.
We also have one more thing.
Absolutely. Actually got two, Chief. I'll say a few things real quick.
Okay, that's sir.
I was looking at the dates and the numbers, and I was also looking at the wall when I was thinking what I wanted to say earlier today, and I was starting to run the numbers, and I looked at the amount of faces up on the commander's board and thought through just how many command teams you have been a part of. If my math serves me correctly, it's 7 command teams, just after Bergstein, all the way up through that crew there. That is a whole lot of late evening conversations, sometimes sipping whiskey, sometimes not. Talking about big issues, talking about people, talking about missions, talking about staffing challenges, equipment failure, all the frustrations that come with trying to keep a squadron running every single day. From my experience doing this now with you for about 20 months, I can say I've been the most fortunate to get like the capstone of a whole lot of public affairs and comm experience. And I simply would not have been able to succeed without you, and all the commanders who are in the audience here today. I'm sure to agree that they relied on you heavily, again, in those conversations, working through those puzzles, keeping the machine running. So for me and Tavi, and I won't speak for you gentlemen, but thank you so much for all of your support. Really appreciate it. With that in mind, put together a little something for you. It's only appropriate that you have a guide on coming out of here. So we want to give this to you. Okay. So fun fact, I'm pretty sure me and Miss Tyron had the honor of working in the same building at Kadena Air Base.
Yes.
She was out there back in the early 90s.
Yes, there's a few others in here too.
Oh, well, we got a few
Yes.
other.
Raise your hand.
Where's Nancy Quinn at? There we go, there we go.
Chief Daniels over there.
Nice.
David Chapman.
I assure you,
Singer.
the building is just as old and as dirty as you remember it. Maybe a little bit older, a little more rust, but that's for sure. But I felt it was only appropriate after sharing all of our stories about ramen shops and time in Japan that I left you with a little bit of Japanese whiskey. So this
Thank
is
you.
fun.
Oh, thank you. You like that too.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That's not for you.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Enjoy it. Thank you so much for all your support. I really don't know how you.
Well, I have known, first it's hard to believe this day has come, right? It always seemed like it was so far away until today here. And I've known Ms. Tyron for a long time, not as long as some of you in this room here, but it's been about 14 years. I was a captain and I arrived at Sat Par, and she was already there. And we went to DINFOS many times together and worked on some force development for all the, in particular the officer. I think we also did it for the but for the DINFOS classes in general. And then, I'm not sure exactly when it was, but at some point, you know, your heart and your passion led you to move down here. I can forget exactly what year it was.
Yeah.
Right. And then I had the good fortune, of course, as has been mentioned, to have worked with her again for 2 years as a commander here. So when I started to think about what gift can I give to you, I got some. It took me a while to think of it, and I got some ideas from others. And somebody said, you know, she likes to go on cruises a lot. How about a sun hat? I thought, you know what? I quickly kind of discounted that idea and thought, I'd like to get her something more meaningful, something about who she is, not what she likes to do. So after thinking about this a while, I came up with the idea, and I'm going to give you some context before I give this to you, okay? And that is for, as you've heard now, for 7 command teams. That's a lot of leaders, that's a lot of CGOs who've come through, a lot of airmen during that time. And there's been a lot of changes in the mission. There's been growth, there's been reduction, there's been transformation, there's been a lot of leadership, there's been a lot of airmen that come through. And so sometimes there's been some uncertainty, sometimes that it's been a little foggy, not knowing exactly what's going to happen. And if I think of this from a analogy of, let's say, a ship sailing on the seas, and it's foggy, dark at night, maybe choppy waters, what does that ship captain look for when it's dark, stormy, looking for safety?
Clarence, you know that?
Whiskey bottle.
He probably has that hand right now.
Lighthouse.
The lighthouse, exactly. Looking for the light. So looking for that light to guide them through to safety. So I would say for the past 13, 14 years that you've been doing that here, you have guided so many leaders, so many airmen, so many people through the uncertainty, the turmoil, the changes, and got them to safety, using you as that beacon of light. So with that in mind.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Oh, wow. Stunning.
And this is also more meaningful because Chief Tim Jenkins made this with his wife Lara, who are very skilled woodworkers, and they make all kind of art. So it's from all of us, not just from his course. But I thought it'd be meaningful to come from him.
Oh, wow.
This is not the real thing yet. The right one will be coming soon. Thank you for everything you've done for the squadron and for us, because I know you've put your heart and soul into this school, and much appreciated. Thanks. I'll keep it short.
So for those that don't know, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Lisa Ray. I'm the DO for the 4th Combat Camera Squadron right next door. And Ms. Tyron has been a mentor to me, not for 15 years or 14 years, but for 5. And so we don't have one of those nice, beautiful things, but we got you luggage tags to go. I was like, this is perfect. He's like, it's not about what she likes. I was like, oh, mine is definitely about what she likes to do. But I want to say that in the time that I've been here, you've taught me so much on how to run and do my job by watching you and the example that you set on your side. And for anybody that knows, like, reserve coming in and trying to be partners, there's some friction and sometimes it can be really hard. Ms. Tyrone worked really hard to make sure that we were able to mesh in and be competitive with you guys, and be able to go on teams together in a way that was meaningful for both squadrons and helpful for both squadrons. So I want to say thank you for that and for all the work that you did to integrate us. And then on a personal side and what you really brought to the table that I saw from the outside looking in, and I think it was really showcased by Colonel Powell's gift. So classy, right? Like what he knew that what you needed was something that was very classy, and I think that you did a great job, not just in our professional environment and making sure that we know the level of quality that is required and that people are expecting from combat camera, but even in our like gatherings and our things that we're doing, making sure that even in those spaces we are doing something of quality and of substance together so that we matter and we know that we matter. So thank you very much.
Thank you. They don't take up much room, maybe just one room or a closet.
We started in that closet, but then we made it bigger and then kind of kicked it another.
Actually, you didn't start in that closet, you started in the EIC. Where the EIC is, yeah.
I would say that you coming up, at least in your words, right? I was doing the math, and it's actually 11 command teams.
Oh,
Because
so our
you're
reserve
guiding
command team.
us, so it's a significant amount. And you were our starting point for what talent we would steal and what talent. Well said.
Like Sergeant Poulter did yesterday, I'm gonna try to drink a sip of water, you know, and like Colonel Powell always did to stop it, but I'm pretty sure I'll fail, just like he did. First of all, I would like to thank all the folks who helped put this ceremony together. Tech Sergeant Kristen Heller, Staff Sergeant Sophia Robello, Master Sergeant Veronica Command, Sergeant Emily Farnsworth, Senior Airman Hirsch, Sergeant Kirby Turback, Master Sergeant Devin Notestein, Chief Griffin, thank you so much, and the Honor Guard. Colonel Powell, Colonel Wickman, thanks so much for being here. It's truly an honor to have both of you here. I met you both when you were captains, different places and many years apart, but I saw in you that you were both destined for leading with a distinct purpose in the PA world, and you've done a phenomenal job, both of you. You both have vastly different leadership styles. I'm sure everyone can attest. But the end results are the same. Your care and love for this squadron is evident with your support for occasions such as this, and this morning's FTU. It's the first actual graduation, right? Today?
First that I've been to.
Yeah, okay. I always say that once you're ComCam, you're always ComCam, and you're both carrying that legacy on forward. Colonel Lewis, thank you so much for making the trip down from Virginia. As the commander of the 4th, you helped strengthen our TFI partnership and really bring both squadrons together. We spent many afternoons trying to solve all the deployment issues and talking about all things ComCam. Colonel Lewis used to say that the 4th was the catcher's mitt for the 1st because we had countless people, I've lost count, of how many people separated from the 4th or from the 1st and went over to the 4th, and so they continue that combat camera mission, that legacy, and they just do it in a different way, and but they have that experience that we gave them. So, Colonel Jeffrey, thank you for your leadership. Your care for our people and our mission is evident every day. Your time is almost up here too. That you have done an outstanding job leading this great group of airmen, especially through the challenges and successes of AFPON Next. Know that if you need anything, I'll always answer the phone. Chief, thanks for emceeing today. When Sergeant Heller told me you volunteered, I was like, hell yeah. But you brought a wealth of career field experience to the squadron, and you've been a great wingman to the boss and to me. Shirt, thank you as well. With you, the commander and the chief, the leadership triad in this squadron is strong. I appreciate you, and I promise we will have that sit down we talked about in the coming weeks. Colonel Fabio, Jim, Thank you so much. It's truly an honor to have you here to officiate my retirement, and it's hard to believe it's been over 30 years since I first met you. It's a testament to the bonds we develop and continue to nurture over so many years, and it's a testament to the power of this combat camera family. If you'll indulge me for a minute, I'd like to say out loud a bit of what I shared with you in a note during your retirement a couple of years ago. Thank you for your contributions that you made to the mission here at the First. We are a special breed, and you played a gigantic part in making us who we are, helping us all keep in touch and maintaining this special combat camera family relationship. ComCam is never far from your radar, be it volunteering for deployments, filling in for commanders, mentoring and teaching at workshops, and role-playing at Scorpion Lens. I don't think that any of us can name a single person who has committed so much time, leadership, and creativity to our small little squadron. You've helped shape and mentor countless young officers and served as a ComCam subject matter expert, advisor, and mentor to at least 17 squadron commanders. I went and did the math just like you did. With your leadership and your creativity, you have inspired 2 generations of combat camera airmen to be the best photographers, the best videographers, and the best storytellers that they can be. So when I say it is my honor to have you here in this place, it is a testament to your commitment to all things ComCam. Again, thank you so much for your leadership, your counsel, and most of all for your friendship. Somebody's buzzing.
Sorry.
Yeah. So these 12 years here at the First, this time, have gone by really fast. When I retired from active duty in 2009, I wasn't quite ready to hang up my hat and look for something different to do. There's a saying when looking for a new job that you should always start with something that you know and something that you love. And that's what I did. After 30 years on active duty, I still love the Air Force, and I loved, for the most part, the things that I got to do as a photographer, as a videographer, as a newly minted and trained public affairs professional. I think that I was probably the oldest enlisted person to go to PAQC. I was a chief, and I had like 15 months left on active duty. Probably shouldn't have got to go, but you know, they had a seat and I went. So I wasn't really looking for a long-term gig when I decided to come and work as a civilian, and I definitely not enough time to have a second retirement. I landed my first civilian job at the Pentagon in SAF PA, like Colonel Howell said, doing just that, helping to shape the public affairs career field with relevant course content focused on telling the Air Force story. While I loved the experience working at the Pentagon and the people I met, including sitting next to Captain Will Powell for a year, at least, I think, when the opportunity to apply for the Director of Operations came open, I knew it was my time to go. Jim Lotz set the stage for me and lobbied me for me to get the job. I've toasted him many times for setting me up for success and will again tonight. I hope I filled his much larger shoes and that he is smiling down at us from heaven.
You did.
For the last 12 years, I felt very fortunate every day that I was able to come back to this squadron and watch all of you airmen, you and the airmen who have come before you grow and flourish. It's been especially fun watching every new commander come in, bright-eyed and full of ideas, to finally, usually after about 6 months, have that aha moment when they realize that ComCam is not a normal PA activity and they are no longer a wing PA chief or a staff officer, but the commander of an amazing and talented group of airmen. Back in the day, before the VI-PA merger, and you probably remember this, when we had communications officers as commanders, it was no different. We used to call it assimilation, and resistance was futile. Seriously, every commander brings his or her own unique personality and vision, and every single squadron commander who I served with improved some aspect of the squadron, whether it was training, increased TDY opportunities and deployment opportunities, recognition programs, or improving the facility. I mean, its place has changed in 12 years exponentially, and it's in huge part to all the commanders who've been here. That's not to say that we have not had some difficult and dark times. We have. But in true combat camera fashion, we persevered, we healed, and we flourished. From our training flight, our intensive block training is second to none, and it's all 100% credit to the talented team who make it happen every day. They are committed to ensuring every airman we send out the door is fully qualified in camera and in combat. We've completely invigorated our flying program little by little. When I arrived here in December of 2013, I think we had 12 qualified flyers, and we were not 9D then. And at one point, just for a few months, we were actually down to 9 flyers. Today, we have 31 and counting, and our aerial program is the best it has ever been. We still have a long way to get to full strength, but we're on our way. Our mission support flight leads the pack in communication transmission capabilities. In today's world of lightning fast information needs, our MSF team is constantly researching and advocating for innovative technologies to get our imagery and stories where they need to go faster and with better quality. Just recently, they talked the wing into giving us, what, $18,000 for NBKs? That was pretty good.
54 total.
54 total. So that's, these guys back here are just amazing, and they can sell it. Master Sergeant Burr's team is super smart and so articulate. I remember the first time I heard then Senior Airman Kenyon brief a DV group. Not gonna lie, he barely looked old enough to be in the Air Force. But when he spoke, it was with authority and knowledge and experience. He blew me away. Imagine what he did for those DVs. You're welcome. Our cyber team keeps us relevant, and they're providing a capability that no one else in PA has. Our documentation flights are the bread and butter of the squadron. This is where squadron life comes alive. Leadership opportunities, flight pride, and camaraderie. These flights have seen the most change in organization than any other section in the squadron. The changes were often career field or deployment cycle driven, and there are too many variations over the last 25 to 30 years to list. At the end of the day, their mission has pretty much remained the same: documenting our nation's exercises, humanitarian events, natural disasters, contingencies, and war. While that is their primary mission, our flights have produced incredible leaders and phenomenal storytellers who have left here and gone on to achieve remarkable successes, including Air Force-wide recognition, OTS selections, senior NCO and chief promotions, and squadron command. Hats off to the NCOs, senior NCOs, and officers who do the heavy lifting in the documentation flights. So now to talk a little bit about the people I interacted with most, our CSS and our ops flight. In the CSS, what an incredible team. I appreciate you guys so much. Tech Sergeant Phillips keeps the boss, and probably me too, out of jail. He manages a budget that is about 50 times that of a normal PA office. Airman Remington has so much energy. I love she has embraced our squadron traditions, always volunteering to help out. Sergeant Austin is always on top of all things personnel, and if he doesn't know the answer, he finds out for you as soon as he can. And I know he works hard at keeping everybody straight. Master Sergeant Jeffries leads them all with finesse and keeps squadron training on track. And Sergeant Rodriguez. Wow, I think you have been the longest serving CSS member. Are you here? Is he here?
Yeah,
Oh, since I've been here. So I appreciate everything he's done for me in the squadron, and I'm happy that he's a brand new dad and he's gonna be an awesome one. So, working in a squadron where 90% of its members are from one career field is challenging, and sometimes I think there's often a tendency to want to stay separated from the masses just because they are not your tribe. The CSS team is always all in when it comes to squadron activities and exercises, most often acting as role players and having the time of their lives. For the ops team, they are the heartbeat of the squadron, and just like the documentation flights, there have been some incredible leaders who have done their best at finessing simultaneous taskings and projects. The ops flight is always evolving with the Air Force's changing processes, deployment phases, dwell, and everything in between. In my time, it has produced such leaders as Natasha Cherney, Mark Lazane, Charlie Costello, Janelle Haig, Casey Bell, Tiffany Rankins, Matt Plew, Nancy Kasberg, Nicole Matheson, Amy Younger, Joel Feaster, Chris Ruano, Kirby Turback, and so many more. They were all titans in the career field and ensured hundreds of squadron airmen were prepared for every assigned tasking, guiding them through SITREP and AAR submissions and storyboards. They've advised teams through difficult situations and represented ComCam at joint level symposiums, planning conferences, and working groups. I'm so very proud of all they've accomplished. The squadron is in great hands with Captain Dan Rubio, Senior Master Sergeant Norman, and Master Sergeant Rob Kingery. Those two, this is their second time here, so I know they're gonna do awesome. For my civilian brothers and sisters, past and present, thank you for your support to me throughout the years. While 12 years may seem like a lot, and it's a little bit of what you're talking about, it's far from and away from Mitch Jenkins' 25 years, Clarence Brown's 24 years, and Vanessa Foreman's 22 years. Vanessa couldn't be here today. Her husband was sick. She had to take him to the ER last night, so prayers out to her. You were all there when the squadron needed you most. For our remaining 3 civilians, Tim Bailey, Mark Parker, and Aries Early, I'm passing you the baton and entrusting our history, our legacy, and our traditions so that you can give it to the next generations of combat camera airmen. I appreciate all of you. So the crowning highlight of my military career is also the highlight of my shorter civilian career. The 1st Combat Camera Squadron has a storied history, as most of you know. Its mission and its focus are constantly changing, from its pure visual documentation history to now using imagery, words, and graphics to impact and shape the information environment. Combat Camera evolves with the Air Forces and the American public's thirst for information. What hasn't changed is the steady pace of the creative and talented people who embrace these halls, cubicles, offices, and edit suites. I think that we all know that our jobs, our careers in many ways are enhanced by the people you meet and the relationships and friendships that are formed and bonded during long deployments, crappy TDYs, late night revelry, and team celebrations. Every Combat Camera alum remembers their time here and the people who made it special for them. Call it an era, a class, a tribe, whatever. Some people stay long enough to cross over to the next era, and some, like Colonel Fabio, Chief Cuomo, Tim Bailey, Rob Kingery, Sergeant Holmes and Heller, they come back multiple times. But most will make their lifelong connections during their first 2 or 3 years. And I will just say, and I'm not biased or anything, but my era, while I was on active duty, was the golden era. And many of those people that I shared those TDYs, deployments, and shenanigans are here today. Chief Ron Hamilton, who actually made sure our shenanigans didn't get out of hand. Chief J.R. Cole and Kerry Cole, Master Sergeant Steve Felici, and I don't know if I missed anybody that was here. To all my mid-90s, besides you. And Ed, you weren't, Ed Gadsden. Whenever we all get together, it's like no time has passed. And surprisingly, even if you meet ComCam alum from a different era, you always have that connection. For me, it's people like Russ Cooley, Suzanne Day, Chief Justin Sutton, Bert Traynor, and Adrian Cadiz, Joey Swafford. For the current 1st Combat Camera Airmen, I have no doubt that today, this year, and beyond will be your golden era. In 12 years, I have been to countless farewells and retirements in this room. The overwhelming sentiment for most of people who leave here is the same. They know that ComCam is probably their best assignment ever. They're sad to leave the people that made it their best assignment, but they're also ready to move on to something new. We always hope that they come back. We all recognize that this life with so much time on the road and away from home can be exhausting, but always, always, it's the people who make it worth it. Make sure you continue to nurture and cultivate those friendships and connections. Reach out to those who've gone before you. They've all got some amazing stories to tell. So as I'm talking about friendships and connections, I'd like to send out a shout out to the many friends and family who have traveled here for my ceremony today. Chief Master Sergeant retired Mike Daniels, Syracuse trained PJ, 1978, right? Was that what we figured out last night? Former Charleston ComChem alum. He was here when it was Det 7, right? My mentor, my best supervisor ever, and my friend for more than 30 years. Thank you so much to you and Judy for both being here. And thank you for your confidence and your support in me throughout the years. Jamie Chapman and his wife Teresa from the 2nd AVS, where we actually all worked together at Kadena. He's also a 1st Combat Camera Squadron alum. Retired Chief Don Singer and his wife Mian. Former 1st Combat Camera SEL. Chief Justin Suddeth, you were here. Bobby Keel, also not combat camera at all. And
just a huge fan of you.
Thank you. Also met at Kadena, so lots of connections there as well. So Rosie Reynolds, legendary photojournalist and Airman Magazine alum. Were you here, Rosie? Okay. Jeremiah.
Legacy was here.
Rosie was here.
Your legacy was here.
Yes, that's for sure. Jeremiah Sams and Felicia Reagan are Sumter neighbors. And even though she couldn't make it today, you just shout out to my great friend, Chief Retired Siobhan Walmo, who helped us put all the dinner together and all the stuff together for tonight. So hopefully you can all come. I'm happy to have some of my family here, and hopefully my family that couldn't be here was able to get on the YouTube link. But many don't know that I actually come from a military family. All of my sisters, and there's 4 of us, and my brother, my mother, and my father, we're all in the military. And now I have 2 nieces who are currently active duty, and have one that was a guard in the Alaska many years ago, and nephew who is also Army Guard. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. So we're a military family. So we have a tradition of service, and it's in our honor to do that. So, but thank you to my brother Joe, who was able to make it, and they just got back from Sicily 2 days ago, and I really appreciate they made the 4-hour trip down here to come and spend this day with me, give the invitation, and that was, whew, you had me falling over here with your invitation. So, my stepson Jason, I think he's playing hooky from work today. Yeah. But I'm so honored that you can be here, and we are so proud of everything that you've accomplished. Mom and Dad, if you're watching, thank you for supporting my choices and celebrating in my successes. I know you are proud of me, and that means more to me than you know. To my oldest and dearest friend, Barb Egan, I'm so honored that you and Jimbo are here with me to share this day. You've known me the longest in my Air Force career. These days we work hard, mostly Barb does, at keeping the Air Force Combat Camera Association a relevant organization and the Air Force Combat Camera legacy alive. In April, we are headed to San Antonio for the 3rd wave of combat camera paver installations at the Basic Military Training Parade Field at Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, as part of the Airman Heritage Foundation initiative. And by the way, if you're interested in purchasing a paver, Barb will gladly sign you up and take your money. But seriously, mostly we were consummate travel planners. We've had some incredible adventures together, and we have more planned for this year and next. Barron, he's been my cheerleader and my sounding board. We made the choice early on to split our time between Sumter and Charleston and maintain 2 households. It's been rough, but we've been able to do it. He spent a lot of time renovating both houses, and he plays a lot of golf too, with Jeremiah, wherever he is back there. I see him back there. He indulges me so far on all my cruises and travel plans, as long as he gets to schedule his annual motorcycle trip, winding his way through Americana. We have weathered through it all, and now we get to begin our next chapter. Thank you for your support, confidence, encouragement, and love. And lastly, some parting words, even though those parting words are kind of long. No. I've had an incredible 46 years serving this great nation and the greatest Air Force in the world. My time, our time in combat camera gives us a bird's eye view of our nation's history as it happens. I've got to see and do some amazing things in my career, like flying in the backseat of an F-15 over the Great Barrier Reef, working with Air Force Joint and Coalition forces in the Balkans, covering air and land missions and airdrop missions over Bosnia, visiting the Berlin Wall and Checkpoint Charlie before the fall of East Germany, documenting a presidential inauguration, and capturing Air Force operations around the world and making an impact on the great men and women of today's public affairs community. This has been an amazing journey with my role as Director of Operations as the cherry on top. To the women and men of the 1st Combat Camera Squadron, treasure these moments here. Treasure your friends and the relationships you have built and continue to nurture them long after you leave this place. Treasure the impacts you and your imagery and storytelling have on our Air Force and our country. You do make a difference. In the early days of the PAVI merger, combat camera airmen were often called cowboys, and not always in a positive light. I decided to Google cowboy and cowboy mentality, and here's what I found. See if any of this sounds familiar. The cowboy mentality refers to a mindset, self-reliance, one's ability to handle challenges independently with minimal outside assistance, grit and determination, a deep commitment to one's work and a loyalty to others, honesty and integrity, emphasizing what's right and standing by one's word, can-do attitude, a belief in one's ability to overcome obstacles and achieve goals even when faced with difficult circumstances. That sounds a lot like what we do every day. Through the years, I think I've had the best job in the Air Force, both active duty and here. Taking pictures, shooting video, meeting people all over the world. And as I've said earlier, I've had the pleasure of working with some of the finest people I can ever hope to meet. One of those people was Mr. Ken Hackman, as we talked about earlier. To my era, and many before mine and after, he was the godfather of photojournalism. He epitomized the cowboy spirit, and I hope that later this evening, you will join me in a toast to his long and storied life, and to a life well lived in the service of his country and to all of you. As for me, I'm proud to call myself a combat camera cowboy. I will truly miss being an active part of this squadron, but I'll still be watching and following all you do. I'll miss you all. Thank you for coming and sharing this day with me.